Hello there, how you doing? My name is Bisola Miriam, and in this video I'm gonna be talking to you. See, I don't have a written script. I don't have one, two, three, four things you need to do. But today I wanted to share with you from my heart how exactly you can survive your first year abroad. Yesterday was exactly 1 year I came to the United States. And if I tell you that this year has not been crazy, has not been overwhelming, gosh, I'm kidding. Like, I'm seriously kidding. But I am so happy and grateful that the universe has been my friend. And despite the hardship, the challenges, I have thrived. And here I am today, alive, and I will be sharing my story with you. So before I came into the US for, a year before I came here, I got admitted, to study in 2018 on a fully funded scholarship. I was supposed to go for my visa interview. I went for the first visa interview in 2019, early 2019, but I was denied visa. So I was denied visa. It was heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. I went for this visa interview with my kids, but somehow it didn't sound like it made sense to them that I was going to be traveling with my children. And so I was denied visa. And so I had to go back home. We had to plan, and then I had to come alone. Now, I was denied visa because it wasn't my decision alone at that point to decide whether I was going to be able to come, even though there were friends who knew much more than I knew, who know how the system works and who can better advise. In that instance, because I was committed to someone and I had children, I couldn't make that decision by myself to travel alone, especially because the kids were involved. And so because of a decision that I had to make with someone I was committed to at that time, it affected the visa process and it was really heartbreaking. I went back home. So after that visa denial, I left Ibadan and then I relocated to Osogbo in January of 2020, right? I relocated to Osogbo in January and I was in Osogbo for a year. Up till October when I went for my next visa interview. And this time I went alone and I got my visa. And I've been here, since after I got my visa, there was the Lekki protest. Then I came back to Ibadan to sort some things, and then I had to move here. And I'm so glad that I'm here in the States, and it's been 10 months. It's been 1 year since I got here. Now, I'd like to talk to you specifically about the things that I've learned in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year or 12 months, as the case may be. The first thing that I learned is it is the truth, or the reality is not always the way it is painted. You see, when you're going to study abroad, there's this excitement and everyone says to you that, oh, you're lucky, you now have a better life. You and you're super excited. People back home even become jealous that, oh, look at this girl. She now, she's better than us, But a lot of people do not know that when you're coming into a system where you know nobody, you have no family members, it is tough. It is tough emotionally, psychologically, mentally. See, orderly. It is tough in orderly, mentally, psychologically, or orderly that you can think of. It is tough. Tough in the sense that you don't have people that you can easily, you're trying to build relationships with people. So you don't have people you can trust yet. And many of the people back home, you will be interacting with them virtually. The time difference can be really crazy. So much more that people at home will be getting angry that you're not keeping in touch with them. And you who is here, you're trying to get your life together. And then the people here don't expect you to rely on them. And so it becomes really messy. And so one thing that I learned the hard way was to not trust people or to not take people's word, so seriously. So when someone says, hey, I'm going to give you a ride to go pick something, or I'm going to take you somewhere, I'm going to help you do grocery shopping, just say yes, I've heard, because you don't know, their plans may change. And one thing you will learn in this system is, don't take people's word exactly the way they say it, and then, always prepare your mind for disappointment. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Second of all, a lot of people who you know before you came here, when you are meeting them here, excuse me, it's possible they have changed. And it is possible they are not people that you thought you knew. Let me repeat that line. If you come into the States, one hard lesson you're going to be learning is the people you thought you knew from back home, they are not necessarily the people you knew. They might have changed. And it was the hard truth. I came here, I didn't have a credit history. I needed money badly to get accommodation. And guess what? The people that I thought could help me, because I thought you were this person was a friend. This person was not willing to drop money, right? Because it was big money. And this person just kept saying, maybe you should wait till they pay you salary and all of that. And you know how hard it can be when, for instance, you're just getting into a system, you want to be close to school. And if you lose 1 month, 2 months in a program and you're still trying to adjust in the third month, a lot of things would not go well, because you want to make sure that you get a lot of facts by yourself. Don't rely on what people tell you or what you think someone you've known for long is saying to you, because as you're coming here, remember what I said, people that you thought you knew might no longer be the people you knew. 2, prepare your mind for disappointment, because people will disappoint you. 3, first impression lasts longer or longest, Sini. First impression lasts longer or longest. So what do I mean? So there was one meeting like that I ended up not getting to until say 10 minutes. And do you know that several months down the line, this person that I, was a superior to me, made reference to my lateness at that meeting when something very sensitive happened later on. Like, I was heartbroken. Mo fẹ́ faint, mo fẹ́ dákú, as in I wanted to collapse. I was like, oh my God. So this person held this against me several months down the line, and this person still made reference to it. What am I trying to teach you? First impression lasts longest. If there is a meeting, an appointment that for one reason you will not be able to keep, see, as long as you have a good case, make sure you reach out like 24 hours ahead and say, hey, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make this meeting, or maybe a couple of hours before the appointment, so that that person will not carry a wrong notion about you. You will find it more heartbreaking when you think that, oh, you intentionally did not want to do wrong, but someone then makes a wrong assumption about you. That would break your heart, and I don't want your heart to break. Oh, my own heart has broken, so I want to help you. I want to guide you to make sure that you don't make these mistakes, right? And I'm talking about how you can survive your first year abroad. Now, I've talked about how to make sure that you don't leave a wrong first impression, because people generally will carry that one-time impression about you, and then they'll keep taking it forever. You don't want to let people do that to you. It might not hurt them, but it will hurt you, especially if you're a person of value and if you know what happened was simply a situation beyond your control, right? So now let's talk about the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about here is money, like how you handle your money, is very important. Surviving your first year as a student abroad would require like a lot of calculation. So before you come, usually if you're coming on an assistantship program, you will be teaching or grading or doing some sort of work. And when you're doing these types of work, guess what? You won't be able to, you won't be able, you would be committed in such a way that you might not have time to do so many other things. Like if, for instance, okay, so let me break it down this way. If you get an assistantship or a scholarship, you need to ask yourself, what is the worth of this scholarship or assistantship? I mean, how much will come to me personally? Ask yourself, how much will come to you personally at the end of every month? How much will come to you personally at the end of every month? I mean, are you going to be getting $1,500 or $2,000 or $3,000? Now, once you know that figure, I'm not saying you should go and be asking the person who wants to give you, admission, and then you're saying, how much will you people be paying me? That is wrong. It means that you really would not be committed. It will send a message. It will send a message that will seem like you're not really going to be committed to the program because you're all about the money. Oh yes, I want you to pay attention to the numbers. I mean the money, the ego, the moolah. But you don't want to let people know what you're thinking or planning. So do the mathematics behind the scene. Do these calculations by yourself behind the scene. How do you do this calculation? How do you do this analysis by yourself? You do this by first visiting the website of the schools that you're interested in applying to know how much it will cost, how much the assistantship is worth, or how much the monthly stipend that will come to you, how much is it worth? When you know what that is worth, it helps you to plan. It helps, guide you in such a way that you know what you'll be getting at the end of the month, and then you can match what you will be getting with what you would need to pay for your rent, for your water bill, for your power bill, and some other bills. I have a video where I talked extensively about managing your finance as a student abroad. You also find out on my channel. If you search, you find one of those videos there. But just bear in mind that before you enter America, or maybe it's Canada or USA, ask yourself, that program that they have now given that you want to go for, what is the take-home monthly, and how does that help you to survive? Especially that you know that in the first semester or in the first 2 semesters, you might not be able to even do anything significantly online, and anything significant online. If you have an online brand that you want to work, to promote as a student, yes, it's possible. But I'm saying for the first 6 months, you might not even be able to think beyond just concentrating on doing coursework and doing assignments. And if you're teaching or doing one sort of assistantship, that would take your time also. So you need to plan well, so that even if you are not able to do anything else that will bring you money, you're sure that you would live comfortably in the first 1 year, because there is nobody that will help you. It is OYO technically, like you'll be on your own most of the time, and you need to develop this mental strength so you don't come here and break down. Depression is real. That's because a lot of people are lonely, frustrated, and things didn't or are not going as they thought it would. Now let's move on. As you begin to settle, one thing you must understand is, if you're teaching, if you're grading, and you're doing any kind of assistantship, you need to learn patience, because one of the things that will be tested is your patience. Your patience level would determine like how you would cope under pressure, because students would email you. Sometimes some student will be emailing you at midnight, early in the morning. You know, bẹ́ẹ̀mi bá ṣe gbé wá fún wọn náà ṣe máa send the email yẹn. Meaning the way the Holy Ghost is bringing it to them is the way they'll be any email. Like, students can wake up in the middle of the night and send you an email. So you need to, learn time management. You need to learn patience. You need to also learn emotional intelligence so you don't freak out when they send emails. Sometimes some children, I meant to say some students might be passive aggressive in the emails they will be sending to you. And if you're not careful as an instructor, you might end up shooting yourself in the leg, because like the system would push you, but you are the one to tell yourself that àgùntàn tó tàdí mẹ́yìn agbára ló lọ mú wá, ilé ọba tó jó ẹwà ló bù sí o. In short, you are the one to determine that no matter the pressure, no matter the pain, the push, you're still going to be in charge, and you have your A game on, and you're not going to break down technically. Okay, so that is something you will learn. And if you prepare your mind, it will not shock you anyhow. So prepare your mind also, it will not be shocking you. If they do this, I'll do that. No. And that is, like, emotional intelligence is so key, and you need to learn it. And so it is important that I stress that they would, the emails that would come from students might make you feel like, might unsettle you, might give you panic attack. I'm a witness, so I've had a lot of panic attacks. Like, I don't even know, maybe it's not panic attack, but it's anxiety, something like, it's not panic attack, more of anxiety. So you'll be anxious when they send emails, and it would get to you. But one thing, prepare your mind so you don't respond when you're under pressure, and so you don't say things that you would regret. Okay, now that I've said all of this, let's talk about coursework, turning in of assignments. So my first semester, I would participate in class. I was very vocal, but there's a difference between being vocal and saying what the professor wants to hear. And there's a difference between you thinking you know and the professor thinking that you know what you think you know. What I'm trying to say in essence is you cannot know more than your professor. And it is true back in Africa, and it is true back even here. Yes, I'm not saying you should keep quiet and act like you know nothing, because if you don't participate, you're losing grades. But you need to also check their non-verbal gestures, always check in with them. If there's anything you think you have said that you're not sure whether you said correctly, you could ask them, and say, this is how I think this is. Am I saying the right thing, or am I missing anything here, Professor? So. Like, you need to always check in with them. You need to make them feel like, I'm your palliative. Just this is me, have me, I'm here, I'm under you. I want to learn from you. Just make them feel that way. Yes, I'm not saying that you should lose your voice or your authenticity in the process. No. But I'm saying let them feel that they are the one impacting that knowledge into you. And when you're processing that thought, still always check in with them so you know you're saying the right thing, especially during class discussions. Again, now when it comes to also the assignment, you also need to ask the professor beyond what has been written in the course syllabus. Some of us are, I'm an auditory, I'm all kind of I'm a mixture of all kind of learning styles. But you see, there are some professors that when you hear them explain things to you, you will get it. There are some professors that their explanation will further confuse you. So you want to go back to the syllabus and check, okay, what is in here? And before you take a course, if the syllabus is available, try to check the course syllabus so you know the courses you're signing up for. So you don't end up signing up for courses that you will just be regretting, Don't feel bad that you even want to now drop a course, because if you're an empath, you feel that, oh no, how would this professor feel? Well, they can feel anyhow, as long as semester or pari. What I'm saying is, if you are picking a course and you know you won't do well in that course, drop the course. If you feel that, oh no, as an empath, I don't want this professor to feel bad, let the professor feel bad early, rather than make the professor feel bad when grading your work, because you're not able to give the professor what the professor wants. You don't want to do that, because at the end of the day, the professor would not know that you were trying to actually be empathetic about your choice when you decided to stay in the class. So stay in a class because you really want to be in the class, and because it really would help your academic journey. I'm moving to the end of this video. It's a long one, but I wanted this to be really deep. Another thing you want to make sure that you work on, aside from making sure that when you're contributing in class, you always check the nonverbal cues of your professors. The next thing you want to do as a student here is make sure that you are always, choosing courses because they really matter to you, and they would also help you fulfill your requirements. And if there are courses that will matter to you and you check the syllabus, and maybe for some reason you're not so sure or confident that you would like to be in that particular professor's class, you may want to drop the course and take it again when it is, listed in a different in a different term, and maybe under a different professor. Does that make sense? Moving on, another thing I would like to share with you is now, when it comes to turning in assignments, before you get to a point where you're so immersed in the coursework, you need to plan for some unforeseen circumstances. And when I say unforeseen circumstances, check in with the professors from the first day or first week of class. Go for their office hours and ask all the questions. Like, you can have 100 questions. As they're answering it, be ticking it, be writing what they're telling you. For instance, if you want to have a conversation about, will you be able to get accommodation if, for instance, you need like a day extra if there's an emergency in your life, and you want to ask for a day, an extra day, or a couple of days to be able to turn in an assignment, you need to be sure if there is accommodation for that. If there is no accommodation in that kind of course, you need to ask yourself, the other courses that you're going to be taking, are they very demanding? And would you be able to manage your time so well that you would be able to still meet up that particular strict course requirements that would not give you extra grace? And there are professors who would give you extra grace. The thing is, another thing that I've learned here is a quiet mouth, like a short mouth is a short destiny. I mean, if you feel that you want to, there's something you're not getting, it is important to ask questions. Don't make assumptions. It is possible you read a syllabus, you read something and it's not clear. Ask questions. Asking those questions will save you, will save you a lot of trouble. If you ask those questions, you would be able to make, you would avoid mistakes So let me give you an instance. Asking question could be, oh, Professor, so, I won't be able to meet up tonight's deadline. Can I get an extra day? If you ask, there's no crime now, yes or no, like, if you ask, the professor can give you a yes or a no. The professor can give you what? A yes or a no. You need to ask those questions. You need to what? Ask those questions, because asking would clarify so many things for you and for the professor. Another thing I want to also add as I wrap up is, it is very important, very crucial that you learn time management. I've been struggling with time management since I got here. And I mean, I'm struggling. I'm still struggling even as I'm doing this video. I'm struggling because, a lot of So let me give you examples. Time management is essential when you're speaking in class. Time management is essential when you're giving your own contribution, when when you're giving examples, when you're sharing your thoughts or comments in class. You don't want to go out of, the allotted time for each student to participate in class. So make sure that you keep your comments brief. Make sure that you turn in your work on time. Make sure that when you're given the opportunity to be a discussion leader, make sure that you keep to time. When you're given the opportunity to be a part of a seminar discussion, make sure that you keep to time. Time management is very key. And it still goes back to the same thing I said about not leaving. Like, for instance, you happen to, you have an appointment with someone. If you won't be able to meet up, say you won't meet up. And you need to strictly, learn time management. Because if you start learning it as a family person, or even right now, depending on where you are, even if you're not in the States yet, learn time management. Because if you keep improving ask yourself, what are the things that you waste so much time on? Do you waste so much time on social media? Do you waste so much time in the bathroom or in kitchen, or taking care of your kids? What are the things that you're not so good at managing your time on? Do you waste so much time, on just anything? When you time yourself, when you're doing tasks, you're most likely going to be more productive, and you're going to learn how to manage your time very well. In addition to all that I've said, I also want to make some quick comments about some, personal issues. And so what are those personal issues? So some folks who are really close to me, or even those who are not so close to me, they've been asking questions about, oh, Bisola, what's up, Bisola Miriam? What's up with the separation post you made on your timeline? I thought you and your partner were good. What suddenly happened? And guys, I just want to say that it is not time to talk yet. I'm still trying to go through a court process, and I won't be able to share so much until the court case is done. But if there's anything I want you guys to know, is the fact that I am very authentic. I will not fake what is not. And for those who are sensitive enough, they know me well enough to know that to a large extent, I'm very much a consistent person. If I say yes, it is yes. If I say no, it is no. So what I'm trying to say is, I am separated right now from my partner, and my case, we're still trying to get the court process, started, so that I can get a divorce. So what I'm saying to you is, yes, I am planning to get a divorce for so many reasons that I will not be able to talk extensively about right now, but much later, after the case is done. And in addition to that, of course, in my book, I have a book coming up, and I'm going to be launching another version of the Unseen Scars of Stigma. So the Unseen Scars of Stigma episode 2, or version 2, will be coming out, and I will be going into some details in that second episode by the grace of Eledumare. And in addition to what I have said, I want you to also know that if you're my follower, if you belong to any of my communities, be aware that there are flying monkeys in my community. There are people there who will come and make posts, come to this video right now and make some very nasty comments. I want you to guide what you hear, what you believe. And if you choose to believe what you're saying, I completely get it. It's a free world, and everyone is entitled to what they think or feel or believe. And I'm not going to judge you for whatever you feel or however you think of me, but I will not have you also judge me for however I feel and however I think about whatever I think about in any given situation or context. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're just watching, and if you find this video helpful, click this, like subscribe right now. Don't just be a consumer. I mean, bless this YouTube channel. Like, share this video, share it, make it go viral. And most importantly, if you want to work with me, I would recommend that you visit my website. Go to the link in the description of this video right now, and you find out how you can be a part of the team. Like my courses, my books, my coaching program or programs, everything is accessible on my website. Just check the link in the description of this video, and I have a free inner circle you can join, and you can also find out more about that in the description of this video. And in addition to all that I've said, remember, you're amazing, you're powerful, you're strong, you're formidable, you are a force to be reckoned with. There is no you without you, and the world needs you. You matter, and abundance is your inheritance. I hope you go make some magic today. I love you so much, and may Eledumare bless you. Abundance is here. Talk soon. Subscribe. Bye.